Okay, good afternoon, all. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning to you, or good afternoon to you. Daryl, how you doing? Okay, so interesting. We've had a kind of an interesting overnight, really, quite a strong mover. So we had we had a little bit of chopping around. We dropped out the bottom, and when we took off around about early hours of the morning UK time, we've been pushing up ever since. So we're up more or less. Well, we are up about 70 points, which is quite a strong move. Now, I've got two scenarios here. We come from this, we touch here, and that to me looks like it's within the channel, and then we go up, we go up, we go up. So I guess that's right. Now, on the left chart, slightly different story. We got little break. So although the only real difference between these two charts is the absence of the break of end of day, but they look quite different. Then usually a couple of bars are different, but they're really different. So uh, who knows anyway? So we'll see how we get on anyway. So uh, let me have a look. So things still going up, isn't it? It's quite hard, isn't it? Russell, how you doing, pal? How you doing? So I've not seen anything or taken anything. Let me have a quick look at the CL chart. I've got this. So whether there was a channel, I wasn't sure about that. The bottom fitted okay. We had two hits and then we caught again. We came down. So whether that is or not, I don't know. It's probably a little bit too early. So I'll kill the color as it's an area of interest and not kind of something I'm working on. So touch, 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 small break, two pushes to a new low and a reversal. So that channel's played out as well. So whether we'll end up, let me just say, well, let's just start again. I've kept those there, so we'll start again. So I would say that possibly channel break new high. Let's keep that tight. Two legs back. So yeah, so it's hard to know. This thing is going up quite strong at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on things and see how. But there's nothing on nothing on the CL chart that I can see anyway. So whether there's a small break here or whether we're moving into some kind of a different channel, it's hard to say really. Let me just have a look on a couple of other charts, see what I can see. Yeah, I don't know if anybody really knows at the moment. So Thomas Wade, we got one from 10 minutes ago. He's got basically the same as this. So I think it's fair to say we've had a small break, but that's going up at that type of angle that we may end up having something like that. Maybe there is. Let me just take that color out so I can see a little bit clearer. So yeah, who knows? Let me just pull this back a little bit. So it's not super clear, is it? But it's hard to say. Small break, two pushes. I mean, it looks strong at the moment. I'm looking on Bookmap. There are loads of orders up here. So that's giving me an impression that price is likely to push up. So I can see sell orders. There's obviously people trying to pick a top here. So I can see sell orders there. And I can see a big bunch of orders between kind of 55 and 52-ish, which is up here. So it's probably going to up a little bit more. How much? I don't know. But you've got to be a little bit careful here. So if I take that up there, I mean, we've certainly got a break. Whether it's there or not, I don't know really. But this looks nice, and we do seem to be going off at a slightly different angle. So who knows anyway. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit so it makes it a little bit clearer. So So, regardless of what we can see there, this to me anyway is a break of some sort. The trouble is, if we've got a break of a channel here, this thing could be reversing, and what we don't want to do is get stuck in a long trade. Uh, NQ, RTY long. Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? So, yeah, I don't think Jeff, how you doing, pal? I don't think we can drag that over really because, well, maybe we could do. Doesn't look that bad actually. If I take that out there, so trouble is, where do you, how much do you trust? Where do you connect to exactly? Uh, anyway, let's leave that where it was. What I will say is this first swing we're touching here, it fits nice there. We've got a touch right on the stem there, and then we do come out a little bit. So I would just be careful of a second entry short just in case. Do you know what? That fits good enough for me, I think. Uh, could probably tweak that a little bit. Anyway, so my guess is this is the break. I'd like to get it confirmed. Has anybody else got that? Uh, let's have a look at Daniel's. Okay, so yeah, Dan's basically got the same as me, basically. So let's put that back where it was. It is drifting a little bit. Let's, let's give it a bit of different color so it's a little bit clearer. Let's go with that. Oh shit, a little bit too dark there. Let's take a zero off. off it. So it's drifting a little bit, I think. Let's put that there. Let's keep this tight. There. So it's drifting out of that channel a little bit. I've got Dan's chart here as well. He's got the same thing. It's drifting a little bit. It's coming at a slightly different angle. So it's hard to make an informative decision. Scruff, how you doing, bud? Russell, will you stream tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow? Friday. Yeah. What day is it? Oh, it's Friday tomorrow. I don't know. I might see. I've been looking on that Vladdy's chart on a Fridays. I just want to see what he's doing on a Friday, so I'm trying to see how I can work it into my stream because they do a bit of chatting there and so on and so forth. I'll have a think about it. I'll have to see if I can sort something out. I may have something in my ear or something so I can listen. I don't know whether it'll be a bit too complicated or not, but I'll let you know. So now I'm not sure about this. We've got a touch. It does. Tough one, isn't it? Anyway, so if we got this channel, we've had a break and a new high. If we got this channel, we've had a break. So I would just be a little bit cautious. So let's call that a channel. Let's just neaten that up a bit. So that looks okay to me with a break and a new low. So that smaller channel has played out. You've just got to be a bit careful here because you may get trapped long and this thing may come down. So if you've got this as your chart, we have really had a break and a push up and a new high. So it's just a little bit unclear, this area. So as far as I'm concerned, if it's unclear, you've got to be a little bit careful. Not sure. So let me have a look here. So let's see if Bookmap helps me anywhere. So there are sellers at 40, which tells me there are traders thinking this is likely to go down. 55, we have got some sellers as well. They may be thinking if price comes up here, then maybe we'll short this. Those 40 are dropping a little bit, 37.5. So there's certainly traders thinking this may be going short. I'm kind of not sure at the moment. But I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on things. If I take that to there, that may look okay. So maybe there's a channel down. We'll have to sort of keep an eye on that. Let me just double check my accounts. We've got no news, have we? No. Let me just check
Order
everything's
submitted.
open. That is one contract.
Order cancelled.
Yeah. I think we're golden. Let me just check the CL chart as well.
Order
I did do this
submitted.
earlier, but I've been chatting, so I've forgotten. Okay, so
Order
everything's okay then.
cancelled.
Okay, good. Yeah, this to me is looking like it's on its way down. I can't see any buyers down here. Very little buyers. There are a few sellers popping up here, which is telling me if we get pullbacks, traders are more interested in shorting this market. If you look under price, everything's quite dark. There's not much in the way of buyers. So around about 36, there are sellers, which is around about here, which you kind of expect if there's a downtrend. Now, I'm not saying this is definitely going to move completely down, but what I'm seeing on Bookmap at the moment, there's more people interested in selling price than buying it. Now, that's tempting. Now, it's only a first entry, really, so there's nothing I can do here. There are sellers at 40, so that's a little bit higher. And there are at 37.5 as well. So all around this area, there are sellers up here. So can't take that one. It's only a first entry. You may argue it's a failure, but it's 22 ticks. There's not much room to the lows. There are a few sellers, so the temptation is it may, thought process, sorry, it may just come back up and have another little go, but I'm quite happy just sitting here at the moment. A little bit lower. Now, there are a few sellers. There are about 100 contracts at one tick above that bar. So is that enough to suck price up? Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, we got a new high here, so technically it's a failure. I'm just not a massive fan of it. There's just something that's just not super clear how much room to the lows. So there's only a couple of points to the lows. So really, it would have just worked depending on where I got in. Leg down sideways, it's probably going to come down a few more ticks. But it's just not super clear. I didn't like it on my left chart, so I'm all right to leave that alone. I've got no issues there. Always another trade. Let's have a look. Dan says it's his last trading day of the year. Yeah, I know he's finishing early, isn't he? So talking about Dan, he's got this. He's going for a little bit of a spike in channel. It's not a huge different from there, but I'm all right with that. Actually, I prefer it there, to be honest, because it fits along the bottom better. It does on my chart anyway, so actually I prefer that. If I go more this angle, I'm going to be taking off that bottom section there. Yeah, he never took that trade anyway. It is really only for, technically it's a failure, but if I'm going to take a failure, I much prefer to have a bull bar than a higher low. We didn't really. We just came up to the, so I don't know. There's a couple of legs down, so you may have buyers trying to push this thing up, but just not massive fan. 22 ticks as well. It's a large risk if you're not sure. Good in time for Christmas break. Yeah. I'm going to be in Monday. Possibly Tuesday, I don't know. I do think it's good. It's a good idea to have a really good break at Christmas. Spend some time with your family and have a break from trading. Trading's hard work and it's stressful. So, you know, while the markets are quiet and most people are taking time off, it's a good idea to take time off, I think, and have a relaxing break. I'm certainly going to. I'm going to be drinking some nice quality scotch. Sounds like all I do, really, doesn't it? It's not. It does sound like it. Uh, Okay, so let me just have a look. I'm looking for sellers up here. So, 27.50. Buyers. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Something's not right here. Oh, 30. Around about 32, 33. There are some sellers. I wonder if we get a couple of legs up here. Let me just get an order up here. We have got buyers at 25. Is that below price? It's close to the lows of price. Let me just get an order up here. If we
Order
get another little
submitted.
push up. 32. There are some orders around 32, 33. It's so annoying when that happens. We get up to the EMA and then it just crosses over, gives us no real setup, and then just drops. In the bloody arse, that is. What can you do? That's annoying. Comes down for one tick. I mean, it's definitely crap this time of year. There's no arguing that, is there? I got to say, when I first started streaming 3 years ago, I had a great Christmas, mind you. I was crap by then, so probably half of it was luck. So we got a small break here. Now, having said that, Dan's got his like that, which means you may argue we haven't actually had a break. So that got to be a little bit careful of there. I would take possibly a lower high and nothing more. Dan's got his like that. Now that actually looks okay if you square the bottom up. Interesting. Now I don't want to just take that. I'd rather have a lower high. It is 2 legs up. We've made a new low there if there's a break, but I would prefer a lower higher just so as I don't get trapped. There are orders at 35, not a huge amount, but enough just to make me pay attention to this. Closed above that EMA, so Speedy, how you doing, my friend? Okay, so it did work. I got nothing on my left chart. What can you do? What can you do? FP 2619. How you doing, buddy? It's just something about this. I've got my order up here. Just
Order
cancel before I
canceled.
forget. It is 2 legs up. We've made a new low here. So whether we've had a break already in the new low or whether this is the break, maybe this is the break. Who knows? If you're not sure, I think you're always best off. Someone said triple test. I don't know. What would you do there? I don't know. It's just something about it I'm not super wrapped with, but there we go. I had it like this, see. That's how I had mine. Uh, Tough one there. I had mine there. It fits better at the bottom, which means we've already had a break and a new low by a tick. Dan said he took it as a screw it trade. There you go. Anybody else take it? Yeah, a couple of other people have had a break here and a new low already. So for that reason, I mean, it depends. It could be either or, really. For me, it fits better here. But trouble is, a lot of the time, this isn't an exact science, so you've got to kind of make the best decisions with what you've got. And if there's something that doesn't feel right, I think you're always better just to leave it. You can always guarantee you're never going to lose a penny, and sometimes that's a better option. Do you think someone who uses the term screw it trade would take a loss at least once a month? You would think so, wouldn't you? I mean, I have heard that he hasn't taken a loss for over a year. I don't know whether that's right or not, but yeah, a screw it trade doesn't seem like the correct term for someone who might not have lost a trade for over a year. I know it's a bit odd, isn't it? Perhaps it's just the term, but yeah, it just doesn't kind of make much sense, that does it? Who knows? Uh, not sure what's going on here. Now, would I want to go long here? There's no arguing, regardless of what you got there. There's a break and a new low. Would I want to go long here? Now, who knows? Looks like it's working. I don't think I'd want to do anything here at the moment. It could come down for a second leg. Who knows? So let's have a look at orders wise. So I can see sellers at 40. Sorry, 35. Not a huge amount, but it'll break above there. So 1, 2, 3. Would that be a triple test? Triple test, second entry short. I would prefer it to clear some of this liquidity. So I can see sellers. There are some sellers at 35. So there's bound to be some traders thinking if we get above this, I may have a go at a short. So we can keep that in mind. In fact, I've just been eating those now, I think. And at 40, there are sellers at 40. I don't know. This is going up a little bit too steep and a bit too far for me. Okay, so that's cleared out some liquidity there. You can see that little bit of a quick pop. You can see those orders at 40. Let's get them out of the way. There's not a huge amount down here. There is some at 20, 109 contracts below there. But we have had a, regardless of how you see that, there's the break, whether it's this and a new low. If it isn't this, we've had two legs up straight down to a new low anyway. So that has played out. So there's no reason why this couldn't be reversing. There is a higher low there, but it's a fair size bar. So what is it? So it's a 5-point risk. Sorry, tell a lie. That's the wrong one, isn't it? Oh crikey, yeah, it's flipping hell. It's a 7.5-point risk. I think that's too much because we've got a leg down and a new low. You don't know whether we're going to have another leg down or something coming down at this angle. Depending how we're reacting to this big move, are we pulling a lot of it back? Or are we just don't know at the moment. It's not super clear, so I think sometimes you're best off just letting go and letting it sort itself out now. See those orders at 40? a reason why I wouldn't take that bar there, because I'd expect that to trigger that and hit those orders all day long. That for me is float in the middle of nowhere. You're just guessing it may come down. So I wouldn't touch that. Let's see. Maybe something like that with a break and a new high. So that's played out. It's a little bit more of a pullback really for this to push down, I think. I can see big orders at 50, which is here. Excuse me, right at the overnight highs. So I think, excuse me, I think there's a fair chance this could move up. There are some buyers there, so maybe we have a break new high, a couple of legs back here, pick up some buyers, and then maybe off we go again. I'll tell you what I am going to do, just out of interest, is I'm going to do that. Because if we do pull down to this level and pick up some buyers, there's going to be a chance that there could be a slightly wider channel on the way here. So I'm just going to kill the color so it's an area of interest, as opposed to something I would 100% trade. 35. So orders there for buyers. So I'd like to get below that buy there. So a couple of legs down. Sorry, that stop, which we didn't get really. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's not a huge amount of buyers down here, but there are buyers nonetheless, slightly more, certainly in this area. Now, there's a bull bar there, which is kind of floating in the middle of nowhere, and there's another bull bar there, which same again. So I'd like a little pull down, clear out some liquidity, and then maybe give us another leg. Oh, you can see there are large amounts of orders appearing up here now. Yank this down, so decent pullback here would be good. So 55 to 52, there are sellers. So there's definitely sellers up here thinking that price is going to come down. And as we know, if there's enough orders up here, it can act like a magnet and start to pull price up. So we're losing a bit of momentum here. We may get a push. I'd like to get some kind of a pullback here, but there's not a huge amount of buyers here anymore. There are some at 35. Not a huge amount. This has gone a bit too far for me. So maybe it's had a bit of a pullback, and that's enough. 9 out of 10 of my script trades are losing. You'd think that you'd at least lose you lose that many if you call them a screw it trade, but yeah, it is a strange comment, isn't it, for someone who doesn't lose much, but uh, oh, sorry. So that high low did well. Certainly worked. I just don't want to risk 7 points down here. You just never quite know. Let's move there. Oh, sorry. break a new high. I'm just unsure about what's going on at the moment. There may be a spiking channel. Just looking at the tops and how they're kind of working. So there may be a spiking channel. I'm not super sure at the moment. Let me just yank that out of the way. It's possible. No, I don't want it. Shorter bear bar with a green body. No, I wouldn't know. That does it. Yeah. But I short. No. Well, I say green. If it was a bearish pin bar that had a green body, then yeah, I would. Let's see if I can find an example of one. If it's got a bearish, if it's still a bearish pin bar, even though it's green, yeah, I wouldn't mind. That I would. I go short under that all day long. Even though it's green, it's still bearish because we've obviously pushed up and we've pulled right back down. So yeah, I'd take that. I think that's good enough. Sometimes it just works out like that. So that seems to fit in there okay to me. It's certainly not there. I don't think we've clearly skipped out of that. It does kind of, it doesn't fit too bad. That's probably as good as I've got at the moment. Uh, I would like to, sorry about this. Oh, I hate that. I get yawning fits. So let me have a look up here. So 52, which is there, to about 56, which is there. So there are quite a few passive sell orders up there. So there's traders thinking if we can get up into this area. Let me have a look. In fact, it's funny if you look at this and look back, you can see how this area has played a part. Oh, wakey wakey. You can see how it's playing a part. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Now I'd want some kind of a break here. So there are some buy orders at here, so a couple of legs down. It's a fair few actually. So if we can get something down there, we may get something up. I would prefer to come down a bit lower, certainly below there. Now, as tempting as that looks, and it is tempting. There's no room to the highs. I'm just not getting involved in a bar like that. I mean, there's no room to the highs. There literally isn't anything. If I go a tick above there, I mean, look at that. There's a point. You're going to get 3/4 of a tick out of that if you're lucky. Now, the chances are it's probably going to go higher, but I always kind of like to be out. And not only that, I can see there's 150 odd contracts down there, and in some cases that will suck price down. So what I'm going to do here quickly, I'm hoping it comes back a bit. It may not, but we've got one bounce, second bounce. I'd love it to come back, but I don't think it's going to. I would love it to come back. Come on, come back. Take that out, hit this area, pick up some buyers. That'll be a range with a failed breakout. Come on, that might. This could turn out lovely if it comes down. So I'm going to put that there like that. Don't you dare go up. So, small range. If we can come down, stop out that, hit these buyers here. You can see there's 155. Hit the buyers here, then we will have 2 legs down, a triple test, and a failed breakout. But I'm not that lucky. Oh, come down.
Order submitted.
Come on, drop down there. See those buyers, 150 odd contracts right there. If we come down, we'll stop out that, and that should give us a little bit of a shove. Come on, let's have a bit of luck. You bloody dare. Don't you dare. That'll do. Doge's uncertainty. So for me, there's bound to be liquidity there. And if it hits that, it should get a shove. And then we could call it a triple test, maybe a fail breakout. Come on, let's have a trade. And then we know we got orders up here. So where's it going to go? Quite likely up there. There's nothing I can do here unless it breaks below there. There we go, you beauty. Okay, so let's pick up these buy orders a little bit lower. Pick up these buy orders and then we shove, hopefully. Still got to be a little bit careful here. Trouble is we've had a break and we're close to the highs. That may work, but I'm staying out of that, to be honest with you. Just not a massive fan of it. It's got a bit of a wick and it closed on the leg. It may work, but I don't care. You didn't take it. No, it's just, I mean, it may have worked. It's irrelevant whether it works, to be honest with you. It doesn't make just because, it doesn't make a bad trade good if it works. I'd love to get some other opinions on this channel. Oh, no. Thomas Wade took that. I think he's just lost it. Oh, he has. Oh, that's a shame. Bad luck, mate. Yeah, he's lost it. It's just too risky, that is. That's the problem. There's no room to the highs, and it's just a bit in the middle of nowhere. You've got to come lower, really. It's a shame, actually. He's only see it there. He's only a couple of ticks. He's so close for his 8 contracts, but obviously we know it came down below there, which is yeah, bad luck, mate. But that's what I like about Thomas Wade. He doesn't mind showing you his trades, his losses. I think that shows a lot of strength. I do. Just going to kill this a minute.
Order cancelled.
It's just got risk written all over that for me. If it had closed down here, there's a difference. But there was a point to the top, and it's just one of those things. Yeah, he is. Then that's kind of what I wanted. Now let's see.
Order submitted.
Be a bit careful here. I'm not sure about this channel here. It would be a second entry long. It's just not looking good, though, is it?
Order cancelled.
Something about this I'm starting to not like. Okay, so those orders have been eaten and absorbed, I think. You took it long. There was a failed breakout. Yeah, it's just something about this I don't like. We've had an attempt to make a new high. Not only that, I'm not super confident about this channel. Now that it looks okay, but there's something about it doesn't feel right. And my instinct, uh, so even if it's like that, we've still had that attempt. My instinct is pretty good, which just comes with time. And if something doesn't feel right, it's really good to listen to that inner voice. It is, because that's, uh, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have taken that one 100%. It's just pushed up too far. If we'd had a second entry long, that bar was, the tail was down here and the bull bar, the top of it was sat here, I'd have taken it for sure. And I would have been out here. What I try and like to do now, when I used to move my profit down and follow my stop, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I always like to get out at the top of the bodies. You see what I mean? And not push the wicks. And if you'd have gone out at the top of the body, went up by a tick, it would have got you out there. Now, it wouldn't anyway, because there was no space. I actually measured it as well, but it's just risky written all over that, as for me. I am surprised he took it, but uh, he is an experienced trader, so I'm not going to tell him he's done anything wrong there. It's a 5-point risk. In fact, I'll tell you what he did do, though. He got in about there. Is that right? Right. He got in there, so it was only a 3.25-point risk, so it's much more manageable. He got in there and gave himself more space to the top. This is a shame, because he was only a tick off. That's a real shame, that is. He was only a tick away. It's quite annoying when that happens, I've got to say. No Trader Alliance, to be honest with you. You did incredibly well. Thank you, mate. Patience wasn't my strong point. Fortunately, it works out for me okay at the moment. But to be honest with you, at the moment, as soon as it started to come back for me, then it's starting to range. And that's why I said triple test, stroke, fail breakout. So I wouldn't have taken that. Once it starts to do this, and I can see this, I wouldn't have taken it. And I could see orders down here at 40. I think they disappeared somewhat, but where's 40? Down here. We didn't quite get down there anyway. We pulled back. I think someone said they took that, didn't they? I don't like the wick on it. There's something I don't like about it. And not only that, it does look like maybe a little micro down. So I think I was talking to someone about this the other day. After a while, when you've been trading a while, you do get used to just looking at it and going, I like it or I don't like it. And that to me just adds something about it I didn't like. I think it probably worked for a bit, didn't it? Yeah, you just got 6, 7 ticks out of it maybe, but and then all of a sudden it comes down and ruins your day, which is a bit annoying. But I don't like this. So straight away, once it did this and came back, my gut feeling it was ranging. So if it's ranging, you don't want to be going along like that right into the top where you've got barely a tick or two to where we're finding support. Obviously, that one didn't exist then, but the move's already made for me. So, but kudos for Thomas for showing it. So many people don't show their losses. I think it shows a strong, confident trader, because you are going to get losses. Doesn't matter who you are. Best traders in the world get losses. But a lot of people kind of avoid talking about them or showing them. I think it shows a strong, confident trader that's confident in who they are, and so on and so forth. So we've had a break there. We had one attempt to go high. We didn't get far off, and then we kind of had 2 other little ones, didn't we? And then it just dropped down a Mac. No, they don't. They don't. The trouble is, if you're a teacher and you're kind of admitting you don't make mistakes or you don't do anything wrong. Now, about maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 months ago, I was watching, Thomas Hugard. Now, I know Thomas Hugard's been trading for a lot of years. He's a very experienced trader. He knows all the big punches of the big batters of the trading world. He's traded for big city banks. He's a very experienced trader. I saw him trade 3 losses in a row, and that kind of made me feel better, because if I can see experienced traders making mistakes and losing trades, that makes me feel okay. Well, that's okay for me too. But Matt never as nice a guy as he is, he never talks about losses. I think that is detrimental to inexperienced traders who do take them. But yeah, people just seem to think it's a weakness. They like to kind of think that they want to show that kind of. I don't know. Is it a male thing? Karina will probably tell us. Is it a male kind of ego-driven type thing? It may be. Maybe it is. Guys don't like to sort of admit we're kind of wrong sometimes. I certainly don't when I'm driving anyway, but perhaps it's just a male thing. I mean, males obviously we're loaded with testosterone and egos, aren't we? So maybe that's a lot to do with it. As I've said before, I think women should run the world when it comes to prime ministers and presidents and stuff. I think there'd be a lot less wars, that's for certain. Always the same thing. Yeah. I think you take a loss. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. One thing I learned about price action is it is super accurate if you're patient enough and you're a good chart reader. I wouldn't be surprised scalping for a point if Mac wouldn't have a 98% win rate. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And maybe it's come down to lack of focus or a mistake as opposed to lack of the skill level. You know what I mean? I certainly wouldn't think it's that. But it does happen. And I think when you're a teacher, I think one of the most important things you can do is to tell people it does happen. So don't let it kind of ruin you. Mac says he takes losses. He just never shows them. I've asked him in emails, did he confirm that sometimes he takes a loss? Yeah, I think when you're teaching people, it's a really good boost for people that are taking losses and are a little bit frustrated. But Mac, it kind of doesn't exist in his teaching methods, does he? He just doesn't really talk about them. And I think when you are teaching people, I think it is important to talk about them. Because most of the people that kind of Mac teaches, I suppose, are newer, inexperienced traders. And it kind of comes with the territory. Certainly in those early years, you are going to lose less and get better at it. But you are going to take losses nonetheless. You took that second entry short, that one. Yeah, it's not a second entry short on my chart, but you could argue it's a hidden second entry short. Would I have taken it if it is a second entry short? I wouldn't have done, and I'll tell you why. Because we've already, on my chart, we've already had a break and a new low. So I would, one, avoid it, partly because of that. And another reason, it didn't quite get to that EMA. So it's not something I would have taken. And is there some kind of, there is some kind of resistance there, isn't there? Yeah. I mean, on an evaluation, yeah, I probably would have done. Ben, how you doing, bud? I agree. He should show us where he gets tripped. Absolutely. I think it's good for people who are learning. It makes you feel human. You've got to humanize trading because it's a fact of life. Traders take losses. it's not something you're ever going to completely avoid. You are going to get better at it for sure. Ben, how you doing, mate? Been out this morning and bought a new whiskey to try. Good on you, mate. I just had one when I came upstairs, just a single. It was that new bottle I opened the other day. Is it Fallowfield or something or other? Something like that, yeah. We did have a bottle of 14-year-old rum cask Balvenie for New Year, but we accidentally drunk it. So we bought this one for New Year now. In all honesty, I doubt very much it's going to last, but there you go. I appeared good for mine. I had the channel drawn right after the range ended. Yeah, I mean, from channel to channel, it can it can be slight differences. You know, I'd speak to some traders on some of the discords, and they've got breaks, and sometimes they haven't. Sometimes I haven't, so it's hard to say it. For me, channel down there. For me, there's a break. But even so, sometimes when we have a break and we have two, when we have a channel with a break, if I'm going to take a short, I like to see two kind of wider channels, something like that type of thing, after a break. Because you never know after a break, it could reverse. But a lot of times we'll have a small break, maybe people taking profits down here or something, and then we have a couple of legs. But I kind of avoid anything that's very tight like that, just in case it is a channel up. But if they're kind of broad, leg and a leg with a strong selling, some strong selling there, preferably below that EMA, then I would kind of have a go at that. But initially, this bit, I generally would avoid. It's hard to know exactly what's going to happen now. I mean, we are coming into an area where the market has kind of stalled. You can see it there, can't you? You can see we're kind of trying to push through it there, and then we're bouncing there. So you never quite know whether we're going to end up, moving up and then ranging. We do this, don't we? It's kind of like almost like a bull flag type of a scenario. But we've had one clear move down with a strong move up. We've had another. So is this now moving up? Could do. So trouble is, if it is ranging, it's kind of impossible to trade because you never quite know where the bottom is. So I can see sellers at 40. So there is some sellers there, but then there's buyers at 32. So kind of in the middle a bit. So we could end up going a bit sideways. But then there are sellers up here, above overnight highs. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine at the moment. Market's been like this a lot lately. I was chatting with someone on the phone earlier, and he said he hasn't taken a trade. He's hardly taken a trade. It's this time of year. It's the only reason it can be, really. I don't quite know how the time of year exactly makes a difference, but I don't know. Why do we not get setups? You bought a 10-year-old Glenfarclas. They're some of my favourite whiskies, them. I had the 10-year-old. I went away down to Winchester with my wife for a long weekend, maybe 6-8 weeks ago. And I bought a 10-year-old Glenfarclas from Marks and Spencer's. I think it was on offer about 45 quid. And we took that down with us. But I do like Glenfarclas. I know when I had my first $10,000 month, I bought the 15-year-old one. I had the tubby, I don't know, they build up and I get rid of them. And I had the 12. I bought the 12-year-old probably 2 or 3 years ago. I went to Chester for a day out, and they got a whiskey shop there. So I've had the 10, the 12, and the 15. But they are nice whiskies, actually. You say Speyside? I think they are Speyside, aren't they? Yeah, I get on okay with Speyside whiskies. I think the Glenlivet's, I think, are Speyside. But one of the things I like at the moment are the rum casks. There's a slight kind of sweetness, more of a kind of bourbon. Uh, bourbon's maybe corn, isn't it? So it's slightly sweeter. So I get on really well with those. But my big favourites are the peated whiskies, the ones where they've been dried with burning peat, uh, like your Ardbegs, and your Lechegs, that type of thing. There are an acquired taste though. I think they're like Marmite. You either love them or you hate them. But I think the 10-year-old Lecheg is my favourite. I think for some odd reason I don't like the Ardbegs. Just something about them. And I've had loads of the Lefroigs as well. Selecting the 10, I've had half a dozen bottles of each of those. Uh, but whiskey does grow on you. My wife used to hate the stuff. Now she drinks as much as I do. Uh, so 50 to 55, we have sellers, which, funnily enough, is right above overnight highs. But yeah, you'll enjoy that. They are nice. 12, I can't remember much of. 15, beautiful. It was in fact, I paid about 90 quid, I think, for was it about, no, maybe, I think it was about 95 pound now. I wouldn't ordinarily spend 95 pound, but I'd had my first $10,000 month. I think it was back in April, February, March, somewhere around about that time. But I did see it on Amazon for about £75 a couple of days later. So Amazon have some great whiskey deals. They really do. I mean, Amazon are a bit hit and miss sometimes, but whiskey, they have great. And there's a massive selection as well. So I tend to get most of mine from there now. It's delivered to your front door. Uh, but the 15, I really enjoyed. Uh, but we kind of like cheap as well. The Duras, the rum cast Duras, they tend to go for about £23 at my local supermarket. So we often have those. Me and my wife probably have a bottle a week, comfortably, I'd say. Uh, it's not a huge amount. It sounds like a lot, but I don't know. There's about 14 pints of beer in a bottle, so we probably have 7 pints of beer each over a week. It's only a pint a day. It's not much. Uh, but maybe we have a bottle and a half between us. I don't know, something like that. So there is a bit of a failure here. Well, yeah, it's just my slight concern is we've got a break and a matching low. That may work. My only slight concern is we seem to be coming away from the top. If you look at that's the top, and that's the top. We got news. We got news. We got. I got no news. Now I expect it to stop tick above there, but trouble is leg down, two legs up. It may do this. We're coming away from the top a bit now. It may work, but I'm just not super wrapped with it, so I'm just leaving it alone at the moment. And obviously, I saw a flash in there, so 3:30. Anybody else got news? What am I missing here? Got some low impact news. Right, hold on a second. Right, okay, so I've got rid of low impact news on my chart, but I've left it on alarms. So I'm guessing if I click low impact, it'll show me low impact news. Yeah, it has. Of course, yeah, I looked at that earlier. Okay, so let's just get rid of that for now. And we should be right now. Okay, so prices went where I thought into this big area of selling. So channel with a break. Uh, Same again. It's doing a lot of this sweeping movement, isn't it? Fact. See what orders. Oh, they're right at the moment. They're cheap at the moment. They are. I paid about 90 odd quid for that. That's usually £50. That's not too bad there. That's the one. Was that the one I had? Was it that one? Difference. Not sure what the difference is. That one I've had. Was it that one? It might have been that one. Trouble is, there's that many different types of them. I'm very tempted to press the button, but not. Okay, so a little bit of choppy sideways here. So we have got, what is it, 57.5, which is there. So I think that may go up a touch more. And their orders at 60. So yeah, my guess is this is going to go up maybe a little bit more. But we've got buyers here. So there's bound to be kind of more liquidity around this area. Depends on what you do, isn't it? You think if you'd be selling there, you'd be taking your profits long before this move up. Okay, so it did work, that trade. It did work. My slight concern is it's losing a bit of momentum there. We had a strong push out and went a bit sideways. It seems to be struggling a bit. Maybe it's me being a bit paranoid, but yeah, worked anyway. So you can see those 200 odd contracts at 60, which is there. And there's some a little bit lower as well. So that area got eaten. There's some a touch lower. Yeah, around about here. So that little bear bar there has triggered. So I wouldn't be surprised if we push up a little bit of sideways, 2 legs up. That would kind of make sense. Push up, a little bit of pullback, and a push up again. Yeah, I'd expect this 60 level to get triggered, I'd say. There are buyers at about 54.5 there. So buyers here, sellers there. Let's get rid of that. So is this going to come down to here and then push up? Okay, so as all as we're at 54, we didn't quite get there, but I expect to see aggressive buyers here now. Yeah, they are creeping up a bit. So there's that 60 level. A fraction below it and 60 as well. There's about 400 contracts right in that little area there. We've had a pullback and a strong bull bar, so I think there's a good chance that's going to pop up another point. Boom. There we go. Taken. So, now where's it? What's going on? There are some sellers around that area. Enough to drag price. I took a loss on that one. Had a break, new high, good setup, good signal bar. Just didn't work. Feel okay about it. Where'd you go short, did you? Yeah. I'm assuming you went short. Yeah, see, I could see those orders up here, so I wouldn't entertain it. To be honest with you, taking shorts up here when price is at a break and a new high, it's pulled back, it's gone up again, is telling me that maybe price is going to continue with a funny angle. So generally, until I've had some, I mean, you can see something maybe going on. So I tend to just, I think really in trading, the best thing to do is to wait till you see a trade that you love. You know what they are. We kind of know the good setups, but it's kind of finding that level of discipline where you go wait for a great setup rather than one that you think is okay. So you know what I mean? You've got to be a little bit careful. So that trade I left on the CL chart, now I go for 10 ticks. It would have to tick through to go to 11. So if I'd have got in a tick above that bar, this would have been coming down. That wouldn't have worked for me. So the issue we have with this is, look, we're clear. It wasn't too bad here. We pushed up here and we struggled to get above there, which telling me it's not getting to the top of the channel. So it's losing a bit of momentum. So to get my 10 tick stroke 11, its price is going to have to get right to here. Well, it's already lost that momentum once. So for me, traders will be thinking, that's what I'm thinking. Is it worth me going long here? Because we are struggling and his price is going to start to tip. Now, this may well carry on and go up. But for me, we've had a push up, it's crossed over, and we're coming down relatively strong with me. And the reason I didn't take it is purely and simply because you can clearly see if this is the top of the channel, that's the top of the channel, we're clearly coming away. So we're losing momentum. So there's going to be buyers here, and buyers here. So what's going to happen? Is this going to drop? If it drops below there, then there, it's going to create some momentum, isn't it? So you just kind of get used to just knowing when something just feels a little bit unsafe. And that for me, the setup looked okay, but the context is telling me we're losing momentum. So I just gave it a miss. Fortunately, I had a good decision. Well, as of yet, I'll be surprised if it doesn't come back this way and at least overlap that bar and that as well. So leave it for a second, see if it does. So quite lightly ended in a loss there. Now, whether I'd have followed it up a bit, I don't know. But for me, clearly losing momentum. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Now, as I say, it may hold. Depends if it can stay above that EMA when that tick counter ends. Let's go. So let's chuck it out of the way for a minute. I'll bring it back in if it does that. Okay, so up, across, and up. So my gut feeling is it was going to continue up a bit. And that's what it did, yeah. So I made a good decision there. So 10 ticks plus 1 to push through. So where did it? So 9 ticks. So I go 10 and then 1. So I'd have missed that by a couple of ticks. But you can clearly see it's losing that momentum, isn't it? So it was a good decision to leave that. So yeah, straight below there. Has it gone below there yet? Not yet. We've had a bounce there. That's quite tight to the EMA, so it may hold, but I certainly won't be getting in here. So we'll see. I think this reach Friday's highs up here. What are you on about on the CL? I don't know. Oh, it's reaching for Friday. Yeah, I got you. I thought you said it reached it. I was going to say, am I missing something here? Yeah, I mean, there's going to be liquidity around here for sure, isn't there? It's better to my end. CL is better, so my entry was a profit. Good on you. Yeah, I mean, I have had the CL chart in front of me on and off, but not for a long time. But I know Vladdy uses it. I know Marco uses it as well. I had a message from Marco probably 7 or 8 months ago, said they were using it and getting some success with it. I can't remember why I stopped. Maybe I was getting set up, but I think if I'm spending most of my day sat here and doing nothing, it makes sense to grab another chart because at least then you're doubling your chance of getting something. I used to, at a point, I kind of needed to focus on one, but I can look at them both now, and you know I'm way more experienced now than I was, so I don't feel like it's a difficult task to kind of manage both really. Uh, so it's kind of going a bit sideways there. If it is going a bit sideways, I don't really want to enter here because we've bounced on that bottom line there. So there may buyers think, oh yeah, let's have a go long there. But for me, we're struggling to get up, so I'd have to leave that. Uh, it's a little bit too choppy, isn't it? It may work, it may not, but I'm not interested in it. We'll see what it does, but okay, so orders at 70. 72 and a half, 600 contracts. Right. You see these big, thick red lines with these numbers here, larger numbers. Sometimes they can yank price up and disappear before they get there. Now they're bunching together now. That's not so bad. But I was watching it the other day, and they had some thick red lines with large contracts on, and once price was getting 3 or 4 points away from them, they were just getting yanked. So 2.5 to 7. So 2.5 to about 7. Okay, sellers up here. There's 1,000 contracts within that area. Let's call it 4. There's 1,000 contracts within that area. Yeah, it is uncanny how these areas do play a part. You can see it, they kind of bounce in there. We had kind of an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, woof, straight up. But you can see it's definitely playing a part there. You can see bounce, 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 push through it, then up, push through it, then up, and same again there. So you can see how it's playing you can see it bounce 3 times right off the top of it there. So, you can kind of understand why, people's thought process when they're looking for areas to trade the market. Uh, okay, I wonder what's going on there. So, yeah, you'd expect some sellers here, wouldn't you? Those sellers have, Yeah, sellers there. So 1, 2. What's the usual? 2 or 3 attempts and then a turn. A little double top there. So is this thing going to try again or is it going to drop? Mm, it is an overshoot. So it may. Well, that's what I've got it shown as anyway. So okay, we've got max chart as well there. It's more or less. Yeah, I did say it was kind of looking a bit rangy. How's he got that? Okay, he's got that in one single push, and then it comes out there. Uh, so he's got this kind of wide here, but then it does go off in that kind of a scenario, I think. Yeah, once we get past here, it goes off in that direction, so that's kind of irrelevant now. Uh, okay, so there's loads of sellers here anyway, so I certainly wouldn't be thinking about longing. Is this enough of a push down now for it to drop? Who knows? Now, it's clearly going into that area where we've been in and out of before. So we did it there and then dropped. Trouble is, you never quite know when it's going to drop. Has it already hit the top and now it's on its way down? Uh, see, the way this is working, I wouldn't take a long here now. We've tried 3 times and we couldn't get any higher. Now, there are still orders there, about 73, quite strong. That's quite a way up, though. My guess is we may trap some longs here and then come down. It's hard to say. Yeah, maybe. There is a second entry long there. I don't think the bar's good enough. It's better there. Uh, Trouble is, we've already broke that level. There's no more real liquidity or strong liquidity to this level. I can't see this coming down. So I, I wouldn't get into anything here just at the moment, to be honest with you. Unless we get a higher low and then we get a second entry short. There are spires. 2.5, which is there. Wow, that's interesting. That's very tempting. It's a little bit stacked up. Maybe there's something like that. Possible. It's hard to say at the moment. Trouble is, it's getting to that area. I can see a lot of sellers. There's over 1,000 contracts around here, see? So that may suck price up. That bar never triggered anyway. That was kind of an inside bar. I'm just not super confident about this at the moment. And rightly so. If you'd have taken that, you may be getting a little bit scared now. It may work, but I don't like this. There's 4 bars stacked side by side like that, which just makes for a little bit risky. It may well work. Uh, uh, it didn't trap a strong bull bar there. If it's a strong bull bar and there's a lot of traders, when it pushes down and hits the stop, it gives it that natural bit of momentum. It does look like it's probably going to work. But I don't like this. I think it's dangerous. So you've got the doji, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars all sat together like that. Now that kind of says a little bit of uncertainty. Now that uncertainty may get taken into that possible trade, and it may just decide to just go, oof, you know what I mean? It's hard to say. So it's irrelevant whether it works. This for me is a bit dangerous. I would prefer a second entry short. Words to that effect. But if you look at Bookmap at the moment, sort of, there's a lot of sellers up here. It's quite high though. Is it going to work? I don't know. Nothing worse to get stuck in a trade and it's just chopping like that. So if I'd have got into that, but it never triggered anyway, so you'd have to get into that one. It's irrelevant anyway. So 0.5, you'd have got 1.25 out of it at a push, maybe. Point and a quarter, maybe just a point. It's hard to say. And now all of a sudden, what's going on here? You wouldn't feel good now, would you? But so there you go. So if you'd have taken that one, you may have got a point and a quarter out of it. But it's just too risky. Once it's doing this, it's just got danger written all over it, and then all of a sudden it triggers them. You think, yeah, we're pushing down. All of a sudden it turns and up it goes. Second chart isn't stacked. Certainly not clear enough to go short, though, for me. I wouldn't take that short. I wouldn't take that. The bars are naff. Absolute crap. I wouldn't take either of those. This is telling me nothing. This is telling me I don't know what's going on at the moment. Chop, 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 chop. No idea. So I think really the best trades to go for is the ones that just stand out. They're obvious. Is that any good? It's only really a first entry. May work. What's going on at the moment? It's chopping up and back and forth, and it's a bit trappy, and it's probably a bit rangy as well. If I pop that up there, so same again. Nothing you can do here really. Maybe it's a bit rangy. So if that's a bit rangy, you may be shorting into this. But I can see big orders up here. Orders there, sellers around about there. So as we know, they act as magnets and they could pull price up. Excuse me. 6, 7, 8. Did it work? Probably worked, didn't it? Tick below. So about here. So depends where you got in. Zoom in a bit. So if I'd have got in a tick below there, how far is a tick? It's about that. I may have missed that by a tick. Depends what I got in. It may have just worked or it may not. It's got to hit 3.25. It hasn't done. I'm just not a massive fan at the moment of that. This could be a fail breakout. It's hard to say. Now, there is a lower high there. That doesn't look terrible for me. But I can't see as many orders here. I see buyers at 60, which is there, which is enough room to the lows, I think. But I see, I mean, there's 500 contracts at 67, which is here. And where's that 67? There, right above there. So strong sellers here, strong sellers there. I mean, there's over 1,200 contracts between there and there. So I just think it's dangerous. I'm not a fan of this. Looks like it might work, but it's just, I don't know. Looks a bit dangerous here, I think. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new low. Is this going to push up? Stop out that, stop out that. Hit these big contracts. There's not many stronger buyers down here. There's way more stronger sellers. I mean, there's more sellers at 67 than in this whole area. So that for me, unless we get aggressive sellers here, that for me means it's probably going to push up. Watch these aggressive sellers climb now. Not as much as I expected. It's usually a few seconds late, this. Yeah, not as much as I expected. Sorry, aggressive buyers climb, rather. My mistake. There's a little more, not huge, but look at all these orders. 520 contracts, 694 contracts, nearly 600, 612. There's 1,700 contracts between 67.50 and 72. 67.50. And what do we say? Some of them have been yanked. Oh no. 67.50 and 72, my mistake. Okay, so there's masses of sellers there. I mean, if sellers like this, although, you know, that just because there's sellers up there doesn't mean they're going to get filled. The more there are, the more chance prices got of pushing into there and picking up them. You know, it's like a guy at a market stall and you've got people waving money. I want to buy. What do? You go to the person with the most money and you go, you know, so. But if there's aggressive sellers that like this and they just start selling, they may win over. So there's no guarantees it's gonna turn and go back in. But for me, I just don't like this chopping around. So I didn't like the stem, so I didn't like the trade. There's something about it I don't like. So if I'd have gotten a tick below there, I'd have got nowhere near. So you got to push through. So you got a 1.25. Now it doesn't mean to say this won't drop, but that was worth a 1.25. That did work. I think it worked anyway. I just wasn't interested in it. Yeah, I think it just worked, that one. But when it pulls back like that, it's not a nice feeling. So some of the orders are going. So there are traders thinking this is struggling. Is it still worth? But there's 1,200 contracts. Sat between that level. Now, we've had a break out of this. We've tried to push in once and we've tried to push in again. Now, there's always a possibility there is a larger channel. But while those orders are there, up here, I have to give this a bit of space. Now, there's still quite a way. It's still going to take a lot of buying to get up there. So it may not. Let me just clear this up a minute. So sellers at 67.5 there and here as well. Oh, excuse me. It's looking tempting. This is looking like it's trapping one hell of a lot of traders. And my gut feeling is this is going to upset a lot of people and have a strong push up. Now, there's no guarantees, of course, but I think a lot of this is chop. And if you're getting in here, that looks relatively strong. But as I say, there's one hell of a lot of between that level and there. There's one hell of a lot of sellers. So I wouldn't be shocked if this thing decides to rocket up and clear out this, although that didn't trigger technically, but there's going to be some stops to clear here. So my guess is it's going to push up. So is the lower high going to get stopped? Yeah, it's 1,500 contracts in this area here. Let me just get rid of that one. So 67.5 and 62.5. So there's the 62.5 and 67.5. Yeah. 4, 5, 7, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, there's nearly 2,000 contracts sat in that area there. And there's not as many buy orders, is there? So my guess is price is likely to get slowly pulled towards this area, which would stop out that big bearish bar. And there's that push up. So you can see those aggressive buys. They've just doubled the sellers. Now, there's still no guarantees. it's cleared all this lot there. Now, it got above there and then had that bit of a push. So you can clearly see the lower high there. It clearly stopped out some traders. Whether it's got the legs to continue up above this and then possibly this area here remains to be seen. See, all those orders have all been yanked. They've all disappeared. So, okay, it's broke above there. Are we going to get a big drop now? Or are we going to have aggressive buyers buy? You see them all. There's still some there, but nowhere near the amount there was. They just got yanked. There's some at 70, or is this second entry short? Strong move down now. Buyers at 65. Do I want to short into there? 500 contracts to go long there. Where are we currently? That comes down bearish. There's probably 2 points before we have a bunch of buyers. Ooh. So that's basically why I stopped out of anything there. If I'd have taken that one, it would have lost. If I'd have taken the lower high there, it would have lost. That one just made it, but that was too big for me, and I don't like all this. So I made good choices to stay out of there. Ooh. Excuse me, any trades today? No, but nothing again. Mind you, most people I'm speaking to haven't taken anything. I don't think Marco's took much. There's just not there's just not a lot around, to be honest with you. I was talking to someone on the phone before we trade. He hasn't taken much either. See, whenever we get these big lump sum areas, see that there with 585 contracts. Sometimes when price gets close to it, it disappears. Excuse me just a sec. Sorry. How long have we been trading for? Hour and 38 minutes. Okay, so price is doing. The trouble is, like when it's doing this after an overshoot, there's going to be traders wanting to get here. I bet that would have created a few upset, a little bit of upset. Uh, Excuse me. Interesting. I'd like to see a big ass drop now. 64 and a half. Right the way down. Woof, straight down. That's technically a lower high, that is. My guess is price is going to come straight down to here, possibly lower. Yeah. Let's going to be liquidity here. The reason I say that is because it could be ranging a bit here. So if it is ranging, kind of at the top, aren't we? Okay, right, wait a minute. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea and relax. Oh, here we go again. Oh, sorry, I'll stop yawning. I'm going to leave you just for 5 minutes while I make a cup of tea, and I will be back. I reckon that's going to come straight down. We'll see. See what happens when I get back. I'll be 5 minutes. Okie dokie. Uh, okay, so it just goes to show that plays a difference. My guess was that was going to come straight down to there, and it's exactly what it does. So you can see how this book map really does help your understanding and where prices likely can go, and it can definitely help you make a more informative decision on a trade. So we pushed up, made a new high there, and then this thing. Now, would I want to go short here if we got a second entry short? It's hard to know because uh, it's hard to know. Uh, so some sellers at 70 there. Hmm. Does look a little rangy. Uh, see, this isn't any better, is it? Look at this. Uh, that was the higher low I looked at. Just risky. Didn't work in the end. But if this channel was, you can see we're coming away there, clear losing momentum. What's happening? We're coming out the channel. You can see after that one for me there, that's a guideline that is that was struggling, and that third touch just couldn't get anywhere near it. So that trade wouldn't have worked. There's just nothing you can do here. Absolutely nothing. Up, down, up, down, up, down. If I'd have taken that one, would that have helped? Tick above. Nope. I would have had to get to 11 up here, and that would have got stopped out. Well, not as yet, but I'm guessing it's probably going to. So it's usually a little better, this, but it's just doing more of the same at the moment. Shopping around. Interesting to see what the beginner next. So I'll come here for Monday for sure. If it's crap on Monday and it's slow, there's not much volume. I may ditch the Tuesday. What day is the Monday? Uh, so okay, so Monday's the 22nd. That's fine. We'll see what Monday's like. Whether I stream or not from the 23rd. 23rd is the Tuesday. I'm guessing the whole of next week's probably going to be Christmas Eve. I won't anyway. It's just no point. And that takes us into 28th, which is the Sunday. I'll probably be back on Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th. New Year's Eve I won't bother. I'll see what it's like. If it's really quiet and crap, then we may just give it give it a mess. Give it a mess. Give it a miss. This is interesting. There's two legs up there. Bearish bar, possibly a lower high. There's going to be some bulls trapped there. bloody massive again. We're nearly at the lows. Where's it going to come? Probably down here. It's just not much space, is there? Let's have a look. 2.5 points. It's a little bit congested. I don't think it's a terrible trade, so so I can see buyers at 62 and 60. So 62.5, which is there. It's not working anyway, so that solved that problem. But it's just getting a bit sideways, isn't it? There are some sellers up here, so I shorted that. Trouble is, that bar there specifically is an inside. But if you're on about that one, I looked at that myself, but trouble is, EMA's flat. It's right in the middle. There's not much room to the lows. There's slightly more orders further up than down, and it's a little bit congested. So when it's doing this, it's so dangerous. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So it's just, we wait for a signal bar. So, specifically along what happens, it goes up, it comes down, goes up, it comes down. So too dangerous. Yeah, never diddle in the middle. I'm not, see, I don't even know whether I had whether I could do a slightly larger channel there. It just doesn't seem to work, does it? Maybe that doesn't look terrible. I don't know. It's hard to bloody say, isn't it, really? That might be better. A little pull back there and down here a bit. I don't know. Maybe a leg back and a leg back down here, and then possibly a push up. Who knows? Let me have a little zoom out here. So we have got yesterday's highs. Now we broke yesterday's lows earlier on, and then we're pushed up with a couple of legs back, and then up again, couple of legs back. So I think that's a legitimate target up there. Which takes us to about, where's that, 82.50. Can I see any orders up there? 82.50, not as yet. There are some. 88. There's 159 contracts at 88. Sorry, at 80. So that 8 is there, which is very close. I mean, literally, it's within 2.5 points. And that, as price comes up, that may grow. So we move up. If we can get a channel with a bit of chop on a channel, if we can get a good strong bull bar off that bottom channel, 2 attempts to go lower, it may push up. So let me have a look here. So there's buyers at 60. Now I'm guessing that's going to be just, yeah. So there's buyers there just below any liquidity. I don't think it needed to be that low, but there is some at 62.50, which I actually prefer. 62.50 there. So if we can get into this area, it gets, so we got a channel down with a break and a new kind of, so 2 legs down type of a scenario. Where's that take us to? Right around here, where we know there are buyers. 60 and say 62, I think, for argument's sake. there. So there are buyers right in this area. So took the leg, a little bit of chop or a few attempts to push up and then down to this level, break any previous liquidity. So we've got a move up, 2 attempts to go lower, and then hopefully a big strong move up to that area. That's the possible scenario. Whether it happens is a different story. We still need a decent setup. 3 attempts to go higher and then down for a second leg. We shall see. So you may argue bearish barrier triple test, but it's just a bit choppy, isn't it? I'd expect that to work. Trouble is, there's just not enough room to the lows for me. So if you go a tick below, maybe I'm sitting tight at the moment. I am. Okay, it worked. Well, close enough. That's below there. It would have given me points. I am denied about it, but it's above the EMA. You can argue a triple test. So I think that would have given me 12 ticks. So it would have to hit there. Not quite. If it gets below there, it will do. We're a tick or 2 away. One more tick and it'll be below there, and that'll hit me profit target. Or would have hit, yeah. So it would have worked. I considered it. Trouble is, the more days you sit here when price is chopping around, any trades this week? No, not as far. I only took one last week. See if we get a strong buy here. 2 legs down. There's buyers here. This is kind of where I expected it to go. There are buyers here. Leg and a leg. So we've hit that, we've come right, we've hit that, and we've come right into that area. So let's see what happens here. 2 legs back. Not what I was expecting or hoping for. So tempting, but it's massive. I don't think that's a bad trade. It's just such a big bar. It is 2 legs down. We've made a new high. It's a nice measured move. Very tempting.
Order submitted.
Let's see what happens. I just don't like the way it's pulled back like that. Let's have a go.
Order submitted.
I don't think it's terrible. It is 2 legs down. It's not a huge risk. It's a nice measured leg. It's where there was buyers. It's a higher low. We'll see. Come on, push above that. We should get a clip then, I think. I'm not willing to give anything back here. Let's see if we can get something. Come on. A nice higher low there. Let's see how it goes. Come on. Push a break above it.
Order filled.
Okay, so let me just close and shut down. So disconnect and connect. Bear me a second. Just make sure everything's closed down. So it worked. I think that was an okay trade. Let me just reconnect and make sure everything's done what it's done. Brilliant. Finally off the mark. 2 legs down, perfect measured move, higher low. I prefer the higher low to be a little bit better. The ATR's down a bit, so it wasn't a huge risk. But I think that'd be okay. I'm seeing more. Well, they're coming in down here. There's buyers down here, but there's more buyers above price. Possibly a failure there anyway. So it does look like it's working up now. So I wouldn't be shocked if that ends up right up here later in the day. But all I want is me points. So 2 legs back. I like that. That's going to work, I think, right to the top. And I think after 2 legs back, I think there's a good chance that just, I know, rockets up. So finally off the mark. So 1 leg back. 2, you can see it, can't you? So I wonder, did anybody else take that? Let me have a look. Maybe the only one here. Let's have a look. I thought it was okay. We've had that big move up, 2 legs back. You chased it long, still in it, are you? Looks like it's going to work. It's not moved up as strong as I thought it was, but it's 2 really nice legs down. It's broke beyond the legs. It's cleared any previous liquidity. I can see more sellers up here than buyers. So it's struggling a bit here, but that's okay. I'm in and out regardless. It wasn't a huge risk. It was $187, so I think it was 3 3/4. So considering what the ATR has been like, I don't think it was terrible. It was a perfect measured leg, really. So it did what it worked anyway. So, in fact, thinking about it, someone says it didn't trigger. He's right, it didn't. I must have got him when it. Anyway, it worked. So it's a good strong buy. Sometimes if it doesn't trigger, does it mean it's a bad trade? I don't necessarily think so. Just the fact that we had 2 nights, we bounced strong up it. Now we say this all the time, don't we? We move up, we have 2 attempts to go lower, and woof, up it goes. So I didn't think it was a bad trade. So it is what it is anyway. So yeah, you can see 2 really nice legs down, slightly more riskier, I suppose, but a good strong move off there. But there you go, it worked. It's irrelevant now, isn't it? Hopefully we get a push up to the top. But so after expenses, 2,900. So you wait for a nice setup, 2,900, boom, and you're there. I liked it. Sometimes you kind of just like the look of it, and anyway, it happened anyway. No point in rabbiting on about it, is there? So let's just mark this up. Plus. It just looks like a good bouncing place for me. As I say, I can see liquidity up here and here and here. So leg, bum, bum, bum. So yeah, so worked nicely. So just take a quick snap of it. It did what I expected. Jay, you took it. Good on you, mate. Money. Yeah, good trade. You took it as well. Hold on for 3 points. Good on you, mate. Sean, how you doing? Does anyone know how much does a PA fee cost? Yes. It's $65 at the moment, bud. So, yeah, $65. So, the only difference between this and the last one quick question, one quick comment. The only difference is it's gone from 90% off to 80% off, but the PA fee's the same. Just keep this in mind. If you're going to take another evaluation and you've recently blown one, have your account reset because it only costs $25 as opposed to $35 to buy a new one. So just reset it. It's cheaper. So just in case no one's thought of that, you probably have anyway. I took it as well, but took the bullish doji here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, it's for me, we got this big leg up with a correction, another big leg up, another correction. As I say, my guess is this is likely to go much higher just based on what I'm seeing. As I say, I had liquidity mark there, and there. You can see there's some below price now, but it's not at the bottom. So if you look, there's some around about, say, 65.5, which is here. So traders for me are saying if price comes back down to here, I'll capture that. So you can see below, there's just very little liquidity down here. Now, as we know, price moves to liquidity. So we had two bigger legs down, one leg down with three little pushes and another leg down, a doji, big strong bar. I think that's a relatively strong position to buy from. We broke any previous liquidity. Any other liquidity is way down here. So as I say, I think that was a good move. And my guess is it's going to go quite a bit higher. And you can see liquidity. It starts from 675, then it's 80, then it's up here at 87. Anyway, you can see it's further up, right up here at 875 and 800. You can see there's more liquidity up here than there is down there. Granted, there is some contracts at 850. That's way down here. So it's one of those things, isn't it? But I deemed it was worth it anyway, and it did what I expected it. We had a higher low and a failure, although the failure was a bit naff. But sometimes if you get in early, it's much safer to trade down here than it is to get in here. But there we go anyway. So that's the beauty of having 20 accounts. Quick trade, $3,000. So even if you can get two of them a week, 6,000. If you can get two of those trades a week, profitable trades, clear winners. Now, you may take three or four and lose one, but if you can get two, 3,000, that's $12,000 in a month. Sorry, tell a lie, it's more than that. If you can take two of them, that's 6,000, that's 24, that's $25,000 in a month. Even if you lose over half of it, there's plenty of money to be earned. That's the beauty of trading small contract on multiple accounts. So 75 to 80, this area here, there's loads of liquidity and pushing right up here. So failed long setting up. I don't think anybody else. Tell a lie. Sorry. Okay, Thomas Wade took it. Tell a lie. Okay, Thomas Wade. Oh no. Yes, he did. Sorry. No, he didn't. Sorry, my mistake. He took the ILO. He's still in it now. My guess is it's going to go right up here as well. We may get a slight pull back to the EMA, but I'm done. I'm happy. That's all I want to do. Trust me, if you can get $150 times 20 a day, it's a huge amount of money. And as your accounts grow, then you can go up to two contracts and so on and so forth. So there's, the potential's there and plenty. So 65, slightly higher than 60. Yeah, 65.50, which is around here. We may get a small pullback, trap some shorts in here and push up again. But based on the liquidity, 72.5, which is there. There are nearly 500 contracts. That's above that bearish bar there. So two little legs down. So I'd expect it to get to there. If it does get up here, my guess is it may continue on up. And you can see 82.5. There was some at 82.5. I only see 80 at the moment. But 82.5 was here. So they tend to appear when they go further up. But let's have a look. So we've got that leg with a second leg. Maybe we do that. Who knows? Let's see if these orders get picked up here. There's 65. There's a few round here. Actually, a few took it, actually. A few took the higher low. I took it too. Yeah, some people took the higher low there. I thought that was strong enough, especially as we come down. We got a doji, and we come down doji, uncertainty, strong buyers, previous liquidity, and it did what it said on the. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, there's buyers there. Let's see what happens now. Uh, Now, there's bound to be some liquidity there, so whether it has a crack at that or not, I don't know. But it came down and those buyers. There are buyers down there, below that tick there. Uh, I'll be surprised if it breaks below that bar. Uh, If you blow a count, what will Karina think? My advice is you probably shouldn't have said anything. uh, I think she'll punish you. What time are we? 12:23. Uh, I think that was a strong positional trade. I'd be surprised if price does get below there, but it may do. We've had a little breakout here. Excuse me. Often we'll get one this side, but we'll see. So now it depends how you've got that channel. If you've got that channel fitted tight like that, you may argue there's been a small break and a new low. Now, that is, as I say, arguable. I mean, if you want to nitpick, you could say it may have. It's hard to say, isn't it? If you keep it very tight, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, break, new low. We'll see anyway. I mean, sometimes these things can be super tight and super accurate, and the slightest break. I mean, if you look at those first, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, that fits snug both sides, and then that either one of these two, maybe that one followed by that, and that are a new low. We'll see if it comes down. There are sellers around about 70 up here. Let's bring this down. 70 sellers at 70, not as much further up as of yet. And there are some buyers around 60 and a little bit above, which is about there. So who knows? Who knows what it's going to do? That's the trouble is, once this market starts going sideways, you never quite know when it's going to bounce. You know, a lot of the cases when we have these big, strong moves, and it's almost like a penguin setup. We have two clear legs down, wait for that move. Penguin may have took that, put his stop here out from the top. That to me is a penguin style trade. Two clear legs down. The second leg was broken up beautifully. I mean, that was kind of textbook in the way of two legs. We push down, we make 3 attempts to push up, we push down again. So it's very kind of uniformed, isn't it? Down, sideways, down. What I like is we push down with a bearish bar, clear selling. What do we do now? We're not too short. Buyers come in, strong move up. What does that tell you? It's more likely than going to work up. And it did what it said on the tin. So there we go. Oh, well, okay. And that surprised me. I thought that would hold, but if it is choppy and sideways, there we go. It did what I needed to. Uh, oh, hello. I always like looking and seeing what Mac marks, to be honest with you. As we've had the two legs, I bet on a bigger chart that would look like a second entry long. In fact, let's look on something like the 10,000, see if that can legitimize it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I suppose. Leg, leg, and up. We've got a spiking channel. Two legs back, strong bull bar. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, does it? Let's move those. So leg, leg. In fact, if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, say we broke above there, that's actually two legs back plus a second entry long. Does it look any better on the 4,000 tick chart? I'll pick the best one. Probably not much different than the what's it? But the picture I think was clear for me anyway. One more look. Yeah, it was a second entry long there, so it worked anyway. That's the main thing. As I say, do I think any different now? No, I think it was a. I think it's a good place to buy there. Whether you argue it was Pat's, but it really doesn't matter. Mac does swap and change things from time to time. He'll do this sometimes. It might be a third entry or something. It's more about how it looks, really, than the count. The counting thing really is like a guideline for me. It's all about how it looks. It's more important how it looks uh, than the count. And that was clear two legs, but I don't know why I'm even talking about it anymore. I rub it on sometimes, don't I? Uh, uh, so on that note, say nothing on the CL. That's just weaving up and down, isn't it? Really. We seem to have a break then, a new high, but then we're just chop, 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 chop. But isn't it weird? I put that earlier, and if we move it, look, uh, see how nice it fits along the tops there. So you can clearly see it's playing a part there when it comes away, doesn't it? So you may even argue that no, it's not going to work, is it? It's pushing me luck a bit there. But anyway, so I think I'm going to leave it there. I've been going for nearly 3 hours, haven't we? 2.5 hours, so not as long as I thought. But I've got my one trade. It's the first one I've had all week. Second one I've had in a fortnight. So it is crap at the moment. So we just got to kind of turn up and just kind of make the most of it. But I managed to get finally got some skin in the game. So a quick few $1,000. And there we go. So I might not stream tomorrow. I'm looking at Vlad's channel at the moment. I just want to see what I can sort of learn from him. But he does a bit of talking anyway, and it's pretty naff at the moment. So I might miss the stream tomorrow. But I'll be back on. I'm just trying to find out how I can get it working into my stream so I can find out what he's doing. And then so on and so forth. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. So I appreciate your company. If you count on trading, good luck. I hope you get a setup. Otherwise, have a great evening. Stay safe. And I'll be here on Monday, final run up to Christmas. So take care. Have a great weekend. And I'll be back on Monday.